Trump issues a series of threatening tweets as international tensions rise amid another suspected chemical weapons attack launched by Syria on its own people. Disturbing images show the aftermath of the alleged attack near the capital of Damascus that killed at least 40 people. This attack comes just over a year after a suspected sarin gas attack prompted President Trump to order military strikes on a Syrian airfield.
This is about humanity. We're talking about humanity, and it can't be allowed to happen. We are meeting with our military and everybody else, and we'll be making some major decisions over the next 24 to 48 hours.
President Trump denounced Russian President Vladimir Putin publicly for the first time on Twitter, blaming President Putin, Russia, and Iran for backing Animal Assad, as he called it. The president warns there will be a big price to pay, but President Bashar al-Assad's regime denies using chemical weapons and says the videos are fabricated. Well, when it comes to Syria, all options are on the table, according to the Trump administration.
If history is any indicator, that could mean a big role for the Navy. Mike Gooding joins us now with that part of the story.
Well, David and Janet, it is, of course, the whole reason why the U.S. has an expeditionary naval force. Multi-million-dollar warships don't do any good tied up at the pier. They are forward deployed for a reason, to influence global events. This could be one of those times again. It wouldn't be the first time that the United States has taken aim at Syria. It was 1 year ago that the USS Ross and USS Porter launched Tomahawk cruise missiles at Bashar al-Assad's regime after a suspected sarin attack killed 80 people. Now, following this weekend's alleged chemical attack that killed at least 40 people, President Trump said today that his administration would be making major decisions about its response in the next 24 to 48 hours.
If it's Russia, if it's Syria, if it's Iran, if it's all of them together, we'll figure it out, and we'll know the answers quite soon. Nothing's off the table. Nothing's off the table.
Whatever the response, it's a pretty good bet that the Navy will be involved. U.S. Fleet Forces Command announced today that the USS Harry S. Truman Carrier Strike Group with 6,500 sailors will be heading out Wednesday as part of a regularly scheduled deployment to the 5th and 6th Fleets. The deployment is not a direct response to the events in Syria, but it would place the Truman team within striking distance within weeks if so tasked. It's all about being ready if the call to duty comes. The commanding officer of the USS Winston S. Churchill talked about that very thing last week when the destroyer shipped out of Norfolk. He said the crew must always be vigilant.
I always talk to him about, pay attention to the news, pay attention to the media, understand where it is we're going in the world, and just be ready to execute whatever mission comes our way.
Virginia Senator Mark Warner said today that the administration needs to develop a coherent strategy to hold the Syrian government accountable. And Senator Tim Kaine said the Trump administration owes the American people a strategy for Syria, and I plan to hold their feet to the fire until we see one. Kaine went on to add that Assad must be held accountable for the brutal atrocities and war crimes. Reporting live, Mike Gooding, 13 News Now.